KFGO, KFGO.com. It's fun now to visit with Jacksonville State head coach John Gross. Coach, congratulations. I mean, this is what it's all about when it comes to team sports. And in the FCS level, you always want to be in Frisco in early January. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a great ride, a lot of fun. Our guys worked really hard to get to this point, and we're excited about being here.
What have the last couple weeks been like in preparation and getting your team back into rhythm after a bit of a break after the semi?
It is a long layoff. You go almost 3 weeks and you don't play, and you got Christmas break in there and stuff. It's a long time to prepare for somebody, so you just want to stay sharp. You know, we practiced a couple of days in the next week after we played the semifinal game, gave them a few days off to go home and see what Santa Claus brought them, and then we got back into action. They were so ready to get in a game week preparation this week, you know, so I think we kept our time in and everything, but it is a long time to prepare, but we're glad to be this point and be closer to the game.
Would you like to see the schedule tweaked at all for that championship game, moved up if possible?
Not really. I think it's at a good point in time. The FBS game being on Monday, I think, and the coaching clinic being next week stuff. So I think it's at a good time, and so you just have to deal with the break, you know.
Can you compare NDSU in any facet to any team that you've played in the FCS this year?
No, not at all. I mean, they're who they are and here for a reason. You know, they just do great things. They're a class act. You can tell, you know, the way their culture, their program has to be solid. That kind of jumps off the screen at you when you see that. And you know, they just play the game. You know, you block and tackle well. They're very fundamentally sound. They guys play hard, and like I said, that's a tribute to, I think, you know, coaching and their players and how they play the game.
I believe, Coach, shortly after you took the job, were named head coach, you saw NDSU play in one of the championship games, and that left an impression with you as you kind of projected your program forward, right? Tell us that story.
Well, I mean, anytime I'm going to be a part of something, I want to be the very best we can be. And so you start with the best. So that was the first game I watched was when y'all played Sam Houston State in the finals. So I took that game and really dissected that game and looked at the speed on the field, the size on the field, what kind of players you had to have to get here and play in this game and have a chance to win this game. So that affects you recruiting, of course, and kind of caliber of guys that you want to recruit and you know, how the game's played. So they are the bar. You know, that's the standard, you know. So you know, if you want to win a national championship, you got to go through them, and that's our ultimate goal. So you know, we've kind of built it, you know, to be that standard.
You're perfect against the FCS this season. But, John, was there at any point of the season where you kind of internally said, yes, this is definitely a championship caliber football team?
Well, I thought, you know, all the off season. I mean, we thought we had a really good team last year. We had some injuries and got upset in the second round, and I wouldn't call it upset. And Sam Houston's, you know, been here before, so they played really good. We didn't play our best, so we lost the game that we didn't play our best in, and so we've had a hunger to get back to this point and get through the year. So you knew going into the year, I said it before the season started, this is going to be a special group to watch play, and that is held true. You know, they do a lot of great things. You know, community service wise and just in the classroom, we're top notch. We got a lot of good men on our football team, and our coaches do a good job of, you know, keeping them motivated to do great things. And like I said, it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this.
What's one aspect when you take a look at your offensive game plan that you perhaps can't share with me, but that you think has maybe been flying under the radar screen as outsiders take a look at this matchup?
Well, I think when you look at North Dakota State and you see how they tackle and how they play defense, I mean, you gotta. It's a game where it's going to be you know, a great, just classic two fundamental football teams, because we strive for the same things. Don't turn the ball over. You know, going extended drives. I mean, so we don't mind taking the football and driving, and they make you do that. I mean, and they're a big time of possession program, and, you know, they want to make you eat up clock when you're on offense, and, you know, to go on 10, 12, 15 play drives to have to score, and you're eating clock up, then they eat the clock up. So it's all about time management, and you know that. But, you know, like I said, we don't mind doing it. I think that you got to be satisfied with driving the football, and because they're not going to give up a lot of explosive plays, and they're just in the right place, and, you know, at the right times, and they keep everything in front of them, and they tackle extremely well. So you got to be very patient, I think, offensively. And like I said, they do some really good stuff on offense too. So it's going to be a great game.
Last question, Coach. At about 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, when you look back at it, how big will the matchup of your defensive line against NDSU's offensive line be in the final analysis?
I think it's going to be huge. And, both of those scenarios. Our O line versus their D line, or their offensive line versus our D line, and it's going to be, I think, the one that can control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. It can, get off the field on third downs defensively, get you in a third and long situation, which neither one of us like to be in. And I think it's what offensive line can establish a run game and consistently run the football. So those are going to be big things. And there's going to be other factors. I mean, there's going to be those, typical 4 or 5 plays in a game where, throws made downfield here or there, and what DB or what receiver makes the play on the ball, and there's going to be some of that stuff goes into it too. And then I think, special teams is definitely going to be a factor there too.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it now.
More the next couple days on KFGO and KFGO.com.